Welcome to part 3 on this wonderful series on the books that helped me to become someone that doesn't drink alcohol and live a conscious life. And book number 11 in this series is The Shame That Binds You by John Bradshaw. Why is this important in my specific journey, and why is this important for anybody's journey? Wow, my addiction was absolutely mired in shame, and understanding what I'm ashamed of, why I'm ashamed of these things, what I can do about it was incredibly important. So The Shame That Binds You by John Bradshaw was, if you want to learn and understand how shame works and how it fits into addiction, the best book in the business on that topic, okay? The next book that really helped me to be someone who doesn't drink alcohol and live a conscious life, How to Improve Your Marriage Without Talking About It, from Patricia Love and Steve Stosny. So many gems out of this book, but the one that really helped me, okay, the one point that really helped me, again, is related to shame, and that is this this battle between shame and fear in a relationship between a man and a woman, a heterosexual relationship, right? Because what tends to happen is the female in the relationship will get really anxious about insecurity in a relationship. So she'll feel insecure, maybe it's financial security or whatever, and she will start to feel insecure, and she will start to feel afraid, and she will start to feel anxious. And because of this, she will start to behave in fearful and anxious ways. When that happens, the guy will pick up on that, and he will start to feel like he's done something wrong. And he will start to feel shame that he's not providing, or he's not stepping up, or he's not being a good enough father, or he's not being a good enough husband. And then he starts to react to that shame, either through being angry, stonewalling, whatever way you react to shame. For me, it's anger and rage. And then anger and rage, then that hits the female in the relationship, and they then start to feel even more anxious, and whatever behaviors that they feel when they feel anxious is then transmitted. So it's like a game of tennis. The woman's bashing her anxiety to you, and the man is bashing his shame to the woman, and it just keeps going round and round in a circle. And understanding that is really important, because as a man, you can say to yourself, okay, I'm feeling triggered right now because of something my wife just said or something my wife just done. Where is she feeling anxious right now? How is she feeling anxious? And coming at it from a perspective of what is going on for her really help you out. Okay, so How to Improve Your Marriage Without Talking About It, amazing book. The third book in this little series that I'm talking about, this little episode, is The Globalization of Addiction by Bruce Alexander. Now, again, really great book, lots of really interesting theories in there around addiction. If any of you I've watched the TED Talk by can't think of his name off the top of my head now. I can't remember it. But Google TED Talks and Rat Park, okay, and you will end up on the work of Bruce Alexander. But it's not Rat Park that I'm really particularly paying attention to right now. It is his theories on psychosocial integration and dislocation. So his theory that because the world is emanating from a place of scarcity, and it has done since the conception of meritocracy and free market capitalism, then what has happened is we have such a big divide between classes that tribes and human beings become dislocated, okay? And because they become dislocated, they go into addiction. And part of this dislocation is that they are struggling to deal with their individual need for autonomy and the need from the tribe for them to behave in a certain way. So this is where we're talking about psychosocial integration. So I guess perfect psychosocial integration is you, the individual, feeling autonomous, but also having the ability and the energy to join tribes that are not toxic and without you having to conform to external validation, right? For me, how does this apply to me? Well, I was dislocated as a young man because when I was 10 years of age, I was moved from Manchester, left all my friends behind, and I moved to a new country in South Wales where I didn't know anybody. And that dislocation is a really important feature in my life because it led to me being addicted because I didn't know anybody. So I gave up my autonomy to behave in ways that the group needed me to behave. Okay, to be cool, to take drugs at too young an age, to have sex at too young an age, to drink and smoke at too young an age, just so I could fit in, so I could integrate. Okay, and that is what happens on a large scale when it comes to our decisions to become people that don't drink alcohol. So the Globalization of Addiction by Bruce Alexander, really important to me and really important to the work that we do at 1000 Days Sober. Another book that is really important in my journey is Living with Intensity by Susan Daniels and Michael Pichowski. And Living with Intensity is a book that focuses on how best to handle and deal with emotionally sensitive and highly gifted intellectual children. Okay. And there is reference in there to work from a Polish psychologist called Krasimir Dabrowski on a theory called positive disintegration. And it really fit with me perfectly. Is basically human beings go through a series of steps of evolution in terms of personal development. Some of us never go up those steps ever, right? We stay in what is known as a unilevel state. So in the ages of 0 to 35, I lived in a unilevel state. There was no internal growth within me. There was no external growth outside of me. The mentors and friends and people around me were not actively encouraging me to grow. I wasn't really thinking about life. I was really kind of stuck. Then I stopped drinking and I started to expand my wisdom, my self-love. I started to think about life more. Why am I in this job? Why am I in this marriage? Why am I drinking alcohol? And then I started this process of going up the levels, right? And each level means you've grown a little bit more closer to eternal wisdom and peace, etc., etc. The reason it's called positive disintegration is very often when we start to get out of the unilevel state, we're in our mid-30s. So we've already got a personality, we've already got our traits, and we need to dissolve and disintegrate that person and then be reborn and metamorphosized into a new human being. Okay, that's what happened to me when I stopped drinking alcohol. I am currently going through that positive disintegration. It's taking me 10 years so far, and it will continue until many, many years into the future. So positive disintegration and having the support around you when you go through that process is massively important. And the last book in this little series before I move on to part 4 is The Big Leap by Gay Hendricks. Okay, so The Big Leap by Gay Hendricks, a big takeaway from that book for me is the recognition that everybody has an upper limit problem. Okay, we all have an upper limit problem. What's an upper limit problem? Let me give you an example. So I learned that if I could achieve financial freedom, then the joy and the happiness that I will get as a result of achieving that financial freedom, for me personally, will be quite high. It will reach a plateau, but it will definitely elevate and it will be higher than it is today, right? However, I don't get there and I don't experience that joy and that celebration because I've got into the practice of sabotaging myself when it comes to my money mindset because I'm afraid of experiencing that joy and celebration, because to experience that joy and celebration, I have to experience first some uncomfortableness. I have to go through some pain and suffering around shedding old beliefs around money and creating new, empowering, abundant beliefs around money. Could be something as simple as I have to ask a friend for a loan. I have to take the risk and take a loan, whereas in the past I would have played safe. That is an upper limit problem or example of one. And I thought, for me, in terms of living a conscious life, always asking yourself, what is my upper limit problem in this area? What is my upper limit problem in this area? And surrounding yourselves with people who can help you point out blind spots in this area is really important in terms of living a conscious life. So there you are, part 3, The Shame That Binds You by John Bradshaw, How to Improve Your Marriage Without Talking About It by Patricia Love and Steve Stosny, The Globalization of Addiction by Bruce Alexander, Living with Intensity by Susan Daniels and Michael Pichowski, and The Big Leap by Gay Hendricks. I will see you in part 4. In the meantime, if you want to get a deeper kind of insight and more coaching on the information that I gleaned from these books in order to be someone that doesn't drink alcohol and become and live a conscious life, then head over to www.1000dayssober.com and you will find out a lot more. Okay? Thanks for listening.